Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video, and in this one I'm going to be explaining how I managed to sort of make $1,000 trading Nasdaq in around about 45 minutes. It was a 1 to 3 sort of trade. Wasn't too bad. It was against the bias in terms of a bullish bias, but this is exactly where it's always time then price. In my timing, New York session was trading really high, and I wouldn't sort of shy away from the fact that I could possibly catch a sell here, and that's exactly what we managed to do. We managed to catch a sell right down to the spike lows, and then price did end up continuing to start taking out those London session lows, as you can see from on the left here. This is a clear market maker sell model, as you can see. This was the original consolidation, and then price does end up pushing up here. So this is the left side of the curve, and then we end up getting that smart money reversal in, and then we end up selling. So price goes back to the starting point of this whole model, and then price continues further lower. The reason why I was anticipating a market maker sell model was, if we start to zoom out now, because that was in the 5-minute time frame, was because order flow has already switched to bullish on Wednesday with this break above this SIBI here, and potentially above this high, which potentially could mean that this is a breaker. Now, with price pushing up here, if I was obviously already anticipating for price to pull back into this area, but because price kept pushing higher, we're sort of gonna, trade that move for price to get back into this area. So we're already like pre-anticipating the move, so we're getting involved in shorting the market from here to get into this area. We're already happy with the trade, going to take the profits. Obviously there's a mismatch between Nasdaq and ES, so I was happy to take the profits there and then. And yeah, you can see exactly what price is doing. It's starting to pull back into this area. Again, going in tomorrow, if price can reach and maybe retrace into these areas here, we'll be looking for buys to continue price higher. Why? Because we are in an overall sort of bullish order flow trend. That was a counter trend trade. Let's get into it. Right, so pretty much if we start pulling the price back, get into the replay mode and take price right there. You can see with New York Open, we have had buy side collected and sell side collected with that New York Open here. So this was the 9 a.m. manipulation. It was sort of taken at highs, taken at the lows. A lot of traders will start to say, now this is choppy price action, I'm not going to trade it, or they've already been taken out of the market. Now with myself, you can see that with these areas here, we did take a short position here. I did take out the target, so it was like not even like the best trade to take because the target was already hit. So you can see that I was targeting the sell side, already got spiked, price pulled back. Now look at the top here, we have a volume imbalance, right? If we look to the left, kind of go on the higher time frames, you can see that there is a big fat gap right here, right? Which potentially may need to be rebalanced in a way, because we had a gap, sell side delivery, we need buy side delivery to go into it for it to become a balanced price range, which is why this will now, I'm expecting to hold as support, resistance, sorry. So what we're expecting is for the price to tap into this area and see what reaction we get. Now, as price starts to push up here, you can see we push up, and I believe we get one more spike here into that area. There we go. Now we have a point of interest that's been touched. And now the time is still valid for us to get an entry in. However, we need this 1 minute fair value gap to be inverted before we get involved. So let's delete this, delete this. Now price is tapping into it, it pushes up. Now at this point in time, guys, this is what's key. At this point in time, notice how 10 a.m. has taken out the 940 high, right? This is sort of external price action getting liquidated here, as you can see with, and this potentially would be SMT. The reason why this is SMT is because if I go to the same time at right here on ES, you can see that price failed to take out that 940 high, right, on ES, but it did on this side. This is SMT, this is a cracking correlation, and this will tell me that, yo, Oase, this thing's about to turn around now, okay? Time to look and time to get involved. So this is what I use. This is that sort of cherry on the cake, cherry on the cake, cherry at the top of the cake, cherry on the cake, cherry at the top. I don't even know what I'm saying, but this is that thing that I use to sort of say that, right, okay, it's time to start looking for executions now. Without this, I don't enter. So the fact that we had this at this time shows that, okay, that this high is going to be preserved, right, on ES. and it's likely to preserve this high here on Nasdaq. So we're going to see what happens, and this is exactly how I was sort of monitoring this trade. Now watch what happens here, because price then taps into that 1 minute fair value gap. Do I enter? No, I don't, because price has not closed below it. It's still inside it. What happens next candle after? Price immediately pushes back up. But this is where it gets very interesting, because on a smaller time frame, say maybe the 15 seconds, there is an imbalance, or even on the 1 minute, you can see that there's an imbalance right here, right there. Price is tapping into a very small 1 minute fair value gap, but it's also creating more SMT, right? This is a smaller time frame sort of SMT, as you can see right here and right there, right? This is the same timing. Smart SMT, smart money technique. I call it smart money time because it all matters about the time of the candles. The 1006 candle went above the 1003 candle on Nasdaq. However, the 1006 candle failed to go above the 1003 candle on ES. And this was a very key sign, because the next candle, what happened? Price immediately started closing back below here. This is when I started to set up this trade and say that's going to be my high right here. I'm not going to go above, I don't expect price to go above this high. This gave me a nice risk to reward entry right there. And so as soon as price, that was a change in state. I believe the next candle price closed below, pushed below and closed back above here. And then I decided to sort of enter a sell like so. And the stop loss was above that high right there. And then where are we targeting? Well, we're targeting this low, this low, this low. I believe we're targeting this low. And then we have the main low at the original consolidation. Why? Market maker sell model, right? Price consolidated here, pushed up, right? And then we ended up getting some manipulation. We've got the smart money reversal here now. So hopefully price doesn't go back above and can go attack all of these lows. We now zoom out and we let the trade run. You can see exactly what happens. Price respects this. This now becomes an inverted fair value gap, right? So inverted, and then price takes out that low and then gets really close to this low, starts dancing around here. This is very, you know, it was testing my patience because I was on the eval. It was like very close to passing it. Cat was meowing at the same time, and I got a nasty headache. I still have this nasty headache right now at the moment. So it's really testing my patience, this time distortion. Price now pushes above here, pushes higher, I believe one more time, and this is where I got closed out at entry. But the setup was still there. You know, I was still expecting for price to continue. So once price pushed back down here, I waited for that retest and see if we get that retest into that fair value gap as it's creating. There you go. Price still fails to take out that low, as you can see. It did just spike it. It did just spike it. Not even lined up properly. So yeah, still didn't take out that low. This is where I decided to sort of add in the entry right there. And then you can see that when price sort of danced around, we ended up taking that low. Job done. What a trade. So it was a bit of a quicker breakdown. I do want to just sort of get all the information on the table there without wasting too much of your time. But you can see this is the step-by-step process on what I look for when sort of getting into the market, and it has to be at the right time. Okay, 9:45 was my window. You can see 9:45 to 10:15. There's my 9:45. Where's my 10:15? Right here. Where did I enter the trade? At 10:08. It was still within the entry. We did get stopped out here, but then we made it all back plus more on this sort of move down. And you can see price is still going down. Where is price likely to go? And this is following my higher time frame bias now, where I'm expecting for potentially price. Will it get to this area here so we can potentially trade that back up to that high, and this becomes a market maker buy model. It's simple, guys. Market maker models, have a look into them. This is exactly how the market moves. This happens on all sort of asset pairs, whether it's futures, whether it's gold, whether it's forex. Keep an eye out on this. It's very key sort of structures that you can see occurs with the markets. Now we're expecting for price to give us a nice decent pullback so we can get into some buys. Hopefully we can pass this funded, pass this challenge. That's pretty much it. Any questions, leave it in the comment. If you enjoyed these sort of trade breakdowns, again, let me know in the comment section so I know like people are actually watching this and enjoying and actually learning from. But that's pretty much it. It's been Oasis FX. Peace out.